Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if it's your first time here. My name is Troy, and my goal with this series is to show that no matter how much or how little money you make, anyone can invest. Now, if this is the first time you're hearing of this series and you want to know what it's all about, I'm going to link episode 1 above my head so you can get an idea of what I'm trying to accomplish with this portfolio. In that first episode, you're going to get an idea of why I picked the stocks I picked, how much I'm going to be investing, and the goals of the portfolio. Once you're caught up there, feel free to watch the other episodes in order to see the natural progression of this portfolio, or come back to this one to see where I'm currently at. With that being said, if you're already caught up and you're here for your bi-weekly update, let's get to it. In this video, I'm going to be showing you a quick refresh from the last episode, the balancing effort for this week's update, an updated look at the portfolio since the last video, the all-time best and worst performers in the portfolio, my projected annualized returns based off of the current returns, any dividends received since the last update, and any news or things of note in this portfolio. Now, without further delay, let's get a quick reminder on where we left off at the end of episode 10. All right, and as the refresher right here, you'll be able to see what the portfolio looked like at the end of last episode. Remember, we had a goal of $50 per holding, and the previous balance was $600.87. Next, let's see what we had to do to get the portfolio to the new goal we have at the end of episode 11, which will be $55 per holding. So again, we have all the tickers on the left, the goal amount of $55 and where they were at the end of episode 10, and then the amount needed to get to the goal. So one thing I did want to actually add to on this one, I'm trying to do this portfolio as automated as possible just to make it less of a burden on me so it's not as cumbersome and time consuming as it currently is. So what I'm doing is I have $60 going into the account automatically every other week on a Friday, and I'm going to have the $5 investment into each of these positions every Monday, and that way I can just go in there on Tuesday or Monday after the market closes, and I can update the numbers I have on my spreadsheets, and I can update my tracker app and all kinds of stuff, and then I can just screenshot it all and give you guys these videos. So I'm not actually going to be doing this amount to goal thing where I'm adding $5.62 into it, for example. Everything's going to get $5, and I'm going to try to give it $5 for each of them, like I originally was trying to do anyway. It's going to be a little bit less, a little bit more than that, just because that's how Fidelity works for whatever reason. So if I get to the point where I have $60 in cash, I'll just do a bonus investment, and it'll be like an extra investment of cash that should have already been invested anyway, and the dividends received. So that's what I think I'm going to do with this. You guys can let me know in the comments if that's a bad idea. If you guys have a better idea, let me know. But anyway, right here, so the buys that I did for this week were completed automatically, $5, give or take, probably take, on June 4th. So now let's go ahead and see what that does to the portfolio right here. So again, all this information is as of close of market on June 4th. The new balance in the portfolio is now $641.25, and that's 20 weeks into this portfolio. So you guys can see all my holdings, the cost basis for each of them. Again, we try to get to 8.33% of account for each position. Some are more, some are less. I can't really control that too much. But we do have that balance down there at the bottom of $641.25. So now let's see which ones are my best and worst performer in the portfolio in this week's update. So right here, we'll be able to see that CSL and ODFL are actually my best and worst performers respectively, and it's been that way now for 2 updates in a row. So CSL is up 9.95% or $5.43, and ODFL is down 14.58% or $7.99. And my overall portfolio is now down 3.04% or $19.89. So a couple of things. So first, I want to kind of outline the pro and con of this portfolio being so small and investing such small amounts of money. The pro is that when I am down in the positions like I have been recently, like the last couple weeks has been really like not great for the portfolio, a little bit of money that I'm adding, just like $5 or give or take that amount, I'm able to lower my cost basis in some of these positions by like $1 or $2, which is really cool. Like in my current portfolio, like my actual portfolio that I track on the channel, I'll invest 80, 100 to 120 bucks in a stock in a given month, and it might go up or down 8 cents. Like it doesn't move that much because there's a lot of money invested. The money I'm putting in is not a lot in relation. So this portfolio being so small, I'm going to get really the average price over the last 20 weeks is how long I've been doing it, because it's going to move a lot with these little bits of money I'm putting in here. So that's kind of cool. Obviously the con is I'm losing money technically, because I'm technically you don't lose till you sell, but technically my portfolio is in the red, so so I would have been better off not investing any of this money, but that's not fun. So I did want to bring that up. But again, with this $3 or 3.04% in the red with $19.89, I like to put that in a chart and see how our portfolio is progressing or regressing since I've created it. So right here with this chart, you'll be able to see all the way back to episode 1. Obviously, there's no gains or losses because I just started the portfolio, all the way down to episode 11, where we're at right now. You guys can see the ebbs and flows of the portfolio. So at one point, this portfolio was up $23.03 or 6.45%, which was a projected annualized return of 33.54% in that was 10 weeks in, or episode 6. And now we're down to $19.89 in the red, $3 or 3.04%, which it gives me a negative 7.9% projected annualized return. Obviously, I'm not projecting the year to play out exactly like it's doing, just like I wasn't in the very beginning where I was projected to get 50% annualized return. Like, that's not realistic either. So I'm really curious to track this cool chart over time to see the ebbs and flows of the portfolio and where we end up with the year. So next, I wanted to actually share with you guys the dividends received in this portfolio, because it is a dividend portfolio, right? So we're going to be making passive income, which is kind of the point of the portfolio. One, I want to show that anyone can invest. Obviously, anyone can lose money. That's what I'm doing right now. But I'm also creating a weekly, sustainable, growing source of passive income, which is really, really cool. So first dividend that we received was on May 31st. Technically not a dividend. It was interest on the cash in the account, which was 3 cents from SPAXX. I did foreshadow that in last episode that I did have that dividend or interest payment coming in to conclude May. And so far, I'm recording this on June 5th. You guys will probably see it on June 5th or June 6th. So far, at first week of June, I've only received one dividend so far from CSL. That is my second time receiving a dividend from them. This one was 11 cents that I received on June 3rd. So let's round all these numbers up. And I want to show you what I concluded May with and what we're starting June at. And we're going to compare June to March, right? It's the last month of the quarter. March is the last month of that quarter. So we're going to compare it and see how we're doing, how we're tracking so far with still the rest of the month to go. So right here, you'll be able to see June, or actually let's do May. We'll do May first. So May, I finished the month with 40 cents in dividends, and June we're already up to that 11 cents. So in all of quarter 1, we had 18 cents total. In quarter 2 so far, we're at 96 cents total, which obviously gives us that $1.14 total dividends received that I have down at the bottom. But I just think it's cool. We're already at 11 cents in June so the last month of the quarter, and we only had 10 cents in March for all of March. So you guys can see the growth. It's going to keep going like that, and that's what you really want to do. Is you want to compare month 1 of quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4, and then do the same thing going down and making sure that number's growing, which I don't ever see a situation where it doesn't grow with this portfolio. So you guys can hold me to that. Call me out in a video if it doesn't end up doing that. But I'm not saying that April to May, May to June will continue to grow, because there's a lot of different payers with a lot of different yields. But I do think January to April, February to May, March to June, and so on and so forth, I think those will continue to get higher as we go and add more money, and the portfolio grows and the dividends grow and all the things. So next, I wanted to share what I'm expecting for the rest of June. I think this is actually the last thing I'm going to share. So right here, you'll be able to see that CSL dividend that I received on the 3rd. I took that screenshot on the 4th. That's why there's a black dot. I do have I have 3 ex-dividend dates, the 5th, the 18th, and 28th. If you guys want me to start taking notes on like what is going ex-dividends on those dates, let me know in the comments, and I can probably put that in the next video or something. But for now, I have KNSL that's going to be paying me on the 13th of June, ODFL to pay me on the 19th of June, and AVGO to pay me on the 30th of June. So the green boxes are confirmed by the companies of, hey, we are guaranteeing to pay this to these shareholders on these days. And the gray box is when AVGO is estimated to pay this dividend. Now, they might pay it a couple days before, they might pay it a couple days after, they might pay it exactly on that date, but that's what the app I'm using is estimating them to pay it on. So we'll have to see if that is the end of the month, and then I get the SPAXX dividend and all kinds of things with that. So definitely stay tuned with that. If you guys find this interesting, make sure you guys subscribe. And I'd love to, keep sharing this progress with you guys. Again, it's obviously cooler if I'm making tons of money, but dividends is not a quick get rich quick scheme. Like, it's not something that you're gonna have no money and then have all the money the next day. It's kind of a long, slow building process, and I want to be able to track this bi-weekly for years to come, and then eventually it'll be a $50,000-$100,000 portfolio, and everybody be like, oh, how'd you do that? Like, that's not realistic. How do you do whatever? I'll have the whole, literally from the first dollar I put in this account all the way to however big it gets. So I'm excited for that, and stay tuned. And as I said, leave a like on the video. Make sure you guys subscribe. And I just want to say, if you guys happen to miss the portfolio update I just put out on the account I'm going to use to retire early, make sure you guys check that out right here. But until next time, see you.